To the Costa Mesa City Council meeting for December 1st, 2020. And at this time, I will call the meeting to order and also ask that we joined for the national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance. We have a video with the Boy Scouts from Calvary Chapel, Costa Mesa, Pack 316. They'll be presenting the colors and leading the pledge, followed by the Star Spangled Banner, performed by the Costa Mesa High School Madrigal Choir. If all council members could please mute your microphones as well as guests, and we will have the Star Spangled Banner and the Pledge of Allegiance at this time.
Audience attention. Color guard attention. Color guard, advance. Color guard, halt. Color guard, prepare to present the colors. Color guard, present the colors. Scout salute. If you're not in uniform, please place your right hand over your heart. Face the colors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets declared, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And then at this time, we would ask that Pastor Sarah Heath's microphone be unmuted. And Pastor Sarah Heath is going to join us for our moment of solemn expression. Pastor Heath?
Hi there. I hope you guys can hear me well. I don't know, is the camera on? It is looking like it is not. I don't know what to do for that, but let us be in a moment of prayer. God, whatever our tradition is, we know that this is a season of waiting. For those of us in the Christian tradition, this is the season of Advent where we wait for Christmas. But all of us, regardless of our beliefs, have been waiting for change, waiting for a vaccine, waiting for a time when we can be with loved ones. God, we are grateful for our leaders represented here in this space online. We ask that you would be with them as they make difficult decisions, and the rest of us wait. Would you prepare our hearts to be hopeful and to believe that a place like Costa Mesa is the kind of place that you would show up, that you would give peace to all of us and health. Lord, we ask that during this time you would be present in the decisions that we make and in our hearts as we hear the words of others. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Heath. It's wonderful to have you here tonight. I'm so glad you're feeling better. Okay, at this time, we will have the roll call. Ms. Green?
Councilmember Chavez?
Present.
Councilmember Ganis?
Here.
Councilmember Mansour,
Here.
Councilmember Mar,
Here.
Councilmember Reynolds,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Stevens,
Here.
Mayor Foley.
Present. Okay, and now at this time, I'd like to move to reorder the agenda. Due to some of the presentations tonight, we have a little changing up the agenda. Everyone should have gotten a reorganized agenda. So I'll move to reorder the agenda as presented. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay.
Well, wait a
Can you
second.
explain what the reordering is?
Yeah.
I didn't get.
Okay. I'm sorry. I thought that the clerk, the reordering of the agenda to everyone. Basically what we're doing is we're having two sections for public comment so that we can have public comment that's related to items not on our agenda, as well as public comment for our outgoing council members, and then public comment for our incoming council members. And so that's the way that we're reorganizing it, so that it'll go call to order, roll call, public comments for matters not listed on the agenda. And then we have no new business. Then we'll have the certification of the election. And then we will select the mayor. My apologies. I did double-sided. Let me go back. Call to order, roll call, public comments for items not on the agenda, then public comments for our outgoing council members, presentations regarding our outgoing council members, council member comments, city manager report, city attorney report, public comments for related to our incoming council members. And then we have no new business. We have of the election, and then comments by the new council members, a brief recess while we install the new council members officially, and then a selection of the mayor pro tem, and if I make any other comments, and then adjourn. Okay. All righty. So that's my motion. Is there a second?
I second the motion, Mayor.
Okay,
Foley.
thank you. Call for the question by voice vote, Ms. Green?
Councilmember Chavez,
Yes.
Councilmember Gannis,
Yes, although I have no written version of that anywhere. So
Councilmember Mansour,
Yes.
Councilmember Mar,
Yes.
Councilmember Reynolds,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Stevens,
Yes.
Mayor Foley.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Okay, at this time, we will call for public comment for matters not for matters not listed on the agenda. Ms. Green, I believe we have a couple of comments and that we've worked with the attendees to have a translation as well and to play a video. Is that right?
Yes. And so if you would like to do public comments, please raise your hand. And first we would.
Okay, we're going to first call on Mr. Chan.
Yes. And first, Madam Mayor, I'd like to read a statement to the public. Please be advised that we have received a video to be shown during public comment, which contains profanity. While we will be taking steps to bleep out the profanity, viewer discretion may be advised.
Thank you so much for that. Okay, Mr. Chan, you have the floor.
Play the video, please.
Thank you. We will begin the video. Just one moment, please.
Still like, oh, it's so itchy. I'm like, what the man?
Is it completed?
Yes, the video is completed.
Thank you. You just heard Smart and Final, the back room up against the residential fence, broadcast live Thanksgiving morning. Hello, listeners. Why is this legit grocery crooning the N-word? Something so vile, so reprehensible, it's hate speech. The city edited to protect you. Why is this grocer crooning the N-word, which is hate speech, over the fence in the backyard's Thanksgiving morning? It's because Costa Mesa police been there maybe 40 times since school opened. That's right, 40 times. 2 years into this war, hundreds of calls, emails, 60-page submissions, videos, audios. Why is the N-word hate speech being sang over the fences to our family's Thanksgiving morning? Black relatives no longer on our guest list. The folks on the dais, they have been here every step of the way. They've all gotten 100 emails from me. They get involved and it gets worse. Them singing the N-word over the fence is so gleeful, happy, gloating. They're having orgasms over how above the law they are, entitled to sing hate speech to the grandkids of my neighbors in their own backyards. In the last 40 visits this city made to this site, they sank this ignorance in. Ignore the law 40 times. Little by little, what comes at you gets worse and worse to the point you croon hate speech, the N-word, over the fence into backyards where you hear children playing every day. Kind of crazy out here, y'all. Got my next speaker here, one of my neighbors. Her name is Letitia.
Okay, Mr. Chan,
Thank you very much.
how we're going to do it is,
please take your position and you can go ahead and speak.
Mr. Chan, are you there? Mr. Chan, are you finished with your comments? And then we'll go to the next speaker that's with you.
I'm finished.
Okay, so what is the name of the next speaker and does she need translation services?
She does, and that's Letitia.
Okay, Leticia, and so Ms. Green, do we have someone who's going to be doing the translation?
Yes, Madam Mayor, we have Ms. Gonzalez here, and she'll be translating, and Ms. Gonzalez will speak right now.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Gladys, and I'll be interpreting for a couple of the public speakers. Hola, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Gladys y voy a ser la traductora para sus comentarios al consejo.
¿Es hablar?
Sí, Leticia.
Sí.
Sí, favor de hacer una pausa después de cada oración para poder traducir.
Está bien.
¿Está bien?
Sí.
No la oigo muy bien. ¿Se puede acercar al micrófono?
Sí. Lo que pasa es que aquí está el ruido de la Smart Final y los traques vienen y dejan su prendido todo el tiempo la troca. Estela,
un segundo. Después de cada oración, si quiere hacer una pausa para poder traducir.
Ajá. Estela y Samuel, el otro señor, todos ellos querían venir aquí, pero no.
Leticia, disculpe, si me quiere dar un segundo para poder traducir lo que me acaba de decir.
Okay, perdón.
So she's saying the issue is with Smart and Final and the trucks and all the noise that comes from it. Okay, ¿puede seguir?
Todos los vecinos de aquí nos estamos quejando porque hablan mucho y después ellos tienen los forlis a las 4 de la mañana, a las 3 de la mañana.
Okay.
Y ellos...
Un segundo, Leticia. She's saying that all the neighbors are complaining because of the noise and a lot of it comes at 4 a.m. Okay, ¿si quieres seguir?
Y todos aquí, muchos no hablan, yo te entiendo lo que dices, pero no habla muy bien perfecto inglés. So venimos con el señor Chan, Steve, a que nos pueda ayudar porque él es el que está atrás de las Manfano y yo lo entiendo, me siento.
Un segundo, Leticia. So she's saying a lot of the residents don't speak English, that she understands what I'm saying. So a lot of the residents decided to come with Mr. Chan so they can, he can help him. And since he's the one that lives directly behind us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Es por eso que la ciudad, ellos piensan que él es el único que se queja, pero todos venimos con él porque él es como un líder aquí en esta calle para que nos pueda ayudar.
So she's saying that that's why they're coming to him, because he informs the city or puts in a complaint with the city. So the city doesn't think that it's just only him who's putting in a complaint, that they all hear this, noise as well.
Sí, tenemos dolor de cabeza porque tienen los tracks prendidos y no los apagan. La vecina va para allá y les dice que lo paren, que ya le duele mucho la cabeza.
Okay. She's saying that they all have headaches now from all the noise from the trucks, and they hear this and they, to tell them to stop because now they all have headaches from the noise.
Ellos le deben de decir a las Manfino y a todos los que tienen los negocios en la 19 que están atrás de una residencial y que por favor respeten.
Yes, she's saying that the city, as you, should be telling them, Smart and Final, to stop because of all the noise, because of all the businesses that are right behind it and the residents' homes who are behind it as well.
Ya, es solamente no el Smart Final, es el Toro Bravo, yo estoy más para allá. Y ellos todos, cuando tienen lunch o cuando terminan, están haciendo música y todo ahí.
She's saying it's just not Smart and Final, but it's also El Toro Bravo and all the other ones, because when they're done with lunch, it's very loud and noisy.
Ya, pues por favor que ponga una estricta, porque yo creo que ya ya está toda la gente de aquí cansada, los niños van a la escuela y no van a la escuela, están online. So es muy importante que duerman bien y que estén concentrados en lo que están estudiando.
So she said it's time to put a stop, and it's for the kids as well, because they can't sleep, and this needs to come to an end.
So yo quiero saber qué es lo que ella piensa.
So she wants to know, what is it that you think?
Okay, thank you so much. Please let her know we're going to hear from the rest of the speakers that are there with Mr. Chan. And then after we're done with that, we will, after we're finished with public comment related to items on the agenda, we will have a report from staff.
Okay, gracias, muy amable.
Okay, sí. Dijo que van a escuchar van a escuchar de todos que están con Mr. Chan, y que ya después van a dar un reporte los empleados aquí. Que muchas gracias por su comentario.
Gracias. Okay, Mr. Chan, is there anyone else there at your home who is wanting to speak to us tonight?
Yes, we have another speaker.
Okay, will you please let them announce their name, and do they need translation services?
They don't need translation services.
All right, thank you. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Lai Chang, and hi, all the city council members. Happy holidays. Anyway, regarding the Smart and Final, I'd like to see how you're going to challenge the unfriendly neighborhood business and take care of the residents of the west side Costa Mesa on Center Street. Over here is only about roughly 10 residents, half lands owned by owners. Okay, and situation here with Smart and Final did not happen in Corona Del Mar or Huntington Beach, but here in Costa Mesa, west side, one wall away from the residential area. So forget about 100 feet, 50 feet away. It's one wall away. And that's our wall. It's not even Smart and Final parking on the shopping center's wall. It's all the residential build their own fence. Anyway, here, Smart and Final use it to store your food, your drink, and their trash in that alley between the store and our wall, the residential's wall. And the situation got worse ever since the city extended their operation hours. I wonder, do you remember when you get longer hours since you spend your whole life? Do you know? Because last time we checked, you lost your records. You did not know what time. When did you extend your hours? So to plan to sell more alcohol. Anyway, time has changed, but the residents here on Center Street behind Smart and Final are not. We're still living here. We're here almost more than your whole life to your some of our council members. And our property value is from $110,000 to today's $850,000 or more. This is not a dump. So please don't treat us like one. Mr. Chen might be the loudest voice among here, the complaints, our complaints, but you cannot deny he's the one with evidence, and we are the witness here. So what more are you asking for to show that we need the city to make things right? This is not a friendly business here for the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. Chan, is there anyone else there with you who would like to speak?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Is there, for those people who have their hands raised, is there anyone who has their hand raised that wants to speak to this item? If so, unraise your hand at this time and then raise it again. Okay, I see no one. Okay, so what we'll do at this time is I'm going to actually ask that the city manager, or I'm not sure who is responsible for giving us an update on this. I know we talked about this earlier, and I know many of us have expressed concern about this particular site and the emails that we've gotten from Mr. Chan with the video evidence. And so we are concerned, and we'd like to know what is the plan and what is happening.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer Lee, whose code enforcement staff have been working with Smart and Final and have had a dialogue with the management there. And we'll have additional follow-up after the information that we just received this evening. So thank you to the residents that came forward and shared this video and this information. And we'll circle back internally with staff to discuss additional steps. But I'll turn over to Jennifer to provide a brief synopsis of steps taken thus far.
Okay, thank you so much. Ms. Lee?
Thank you, Mayor and council members. Staff are aware of the various complaints that have come in on Smart and Final through over the past few years, really. Just this year, we received 10 or so complaints from Mr. Chan regarding noise at the site. And each of those times we did follow up with a site visit and have spoken with Smart and Final management as well a few times in the past. So unfortunately, our site visits, we did not see specific code violations, but having said that, our intention has always been having an ongoing dialogue with Smart and Final management, including discussion of good neighbor policies and good neighbor practices that we hope will address some of these things. So we did reach out to Smart and Final earlier this week, separately from tonight's public comments, and intend to meet with them next week. So we will be following up on the information we received this evening.
Okay, thank you. I mean, I would request that we take the evidence that's been provided from the video, and I think that that's citable evidence for sure. People shouldn't have to live with that. Councilmember Chavez, did you have something?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. And I was going to say as well, this isn't the first time Mr. Chan has sent us a video showcasing bad employee conduct in the back of Smart and Final. If you recall, a bit earlier in the month, we had an email sent where the F-bomb was dropped as well. And I think, you know, we're going a lot, obviously, you know, due to the concern we have already, but I think we have a real big heart-to-heart with them in some sense, because these are things that could be avoidable, right? A truck being left idle is not good any time, especially in the morning. You know, employees being rambunctious and loud in the back is something that perhaps is not in the code, but we should be looking at noise ordinances perhaps, or some other kind of policy, because it is becoming a hindrance for community. It has been a hindrance for community, and we should do our best to address it and let them know that there will be consequences for not addressing it.
Thank you. Okay, and at this time, Councilmember Guinness, did you want to add to the voices to address this?
Yeah, I was distressed not only by the need to be bleeping things out, which means that they're saying things that we don't want our viewing public to hear, but which means then it shouldn't be heard by the children and everybody else who lives in the neighborhood. But the sound meter readings up in the corner showed clear violations. And in addition to that, the constant truck idling is a violation of AQMD rules as well. It's a health hazard. When you have a diesel truck idling for an extended period across the fence from residences, that's a health risk for those people, and that shouldn't be tolerated.
Agree. Okay, thank you for reminding us of those. Okay, at this time, I will move to, and so I guess I would ask that we get a report to the council by next week, letting us know what is happening and that we get a little bit stronger in our communication with Smart and Final. Okay, next speaker up for items that are not on the agenda and not related to outgoing council members or incoming council members. I have Jimmy Vivar. Mr. Vivar, are you there?
Zoom webinar.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Are you here to speak on an item not on our agenda tonight?
Exactly, yeah.
Great.
Yeah, so I've been following the council meetings probably ever since September, and I missed the last one, but I know one topic that came up several times with was this problem with speeding in Costa Mesa and how we're going to curb that. I had sent an email to Councilwoman Arliss Reynolds, but never heard back. I work actually as a transportation engineer for the city of Los Angeles, and I know there are different things we can do, steps we can take, such as identifying streets that have or intersections that have multiple crashes or fatalities or accidents in the past, and how we can address those. And also making sure we have better pedestrian safety as well. So I'm also a person with disability, and one thing we've been doing in Los Angeles is installing continental crosswalks to all major intersections. So that's one thing that for myself is easier to see as well. So I was just wondering if the city plans to take any action or have a kind of like a special council meeting or something to study this and come up with solutions going forward. So that's all I have today.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your comments. Next person up is phone number ending 869. If you'd like to speak, please press *6 to unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
A quote attributed to Voltaire states that I might disagree with what you have to say, but will fight to the death for your right to say it. It's the right to free speech, and the First Amendment is a paramount pillar of American democracy. Tonight, I believe the city attorney is attempting to trample that right by editing a speaker's public comment. Due to the pandemic, a resident cannot come to council chambers and bring their own recording device with which to present. Due to the limitations of remote meetings and the inability of the recording to carry over the utilized technology, residents are reliant on the city to be heard. Editing that resident's recording is trampling their First Amendment right, and using an obscure broadcasting reason is doubly dubious. This is especially egregious since the city is attempting to suppress and silence a resident who is continuing to complain about an important health and safety issue the city is ignoring. It would not be the first time the city of Costa Mesa has tried to curb resident First Amendment rights. The Benito Acosta case cost the city upwards of $900,000 in legal fees and forced the city to change its municipal code. To prove a point and as an exercise of civil disobedience, please enjoy the following expletive-laden speech. I dare you to censor me now or edit my free speech in subsequent recordings posted by the city. Arse, ass, asshole, bastard, bitch, bollocks, brother, fucker, bugger, bullshit, crap. I can go on and on and on, and in fact, I plan to do it for the whole 3 minutes to make a point, but I think you get it. The speaker had a recording that was very egregious and very disturbing, And the fact that stuff was bleeped out of it is very inappropriate and is trampling the First Amendment rights. So if it's not good enough for the city council to hear it and everyone else listening, then that should not be happening and it should not have been bleeped. Thank you.
Okay, next, we have no further speakers at this time. And just for the record, under our normal procedures, when a speaker wants to present something to the city council, even when we're in the chambers and everyone is present, there is a requirement that they provide that to the city clerk in advance of playing that video. So we were consistent with our prior practices as well. Okay, if you would like to speak to an item not on the council's agenda tonight, please raise your hand in the hand raise feature. And I have another speaker, Kiana.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Welcome.
Hi, good evening. I wanted to make a public comment regarding the short-term rental issue in Costa Mesa. I've sent a couple emails and spoken with a few of you regarding the issue that we've had next door that's operating an Airbnb. We've had issues with drug use, stolen vehicles, people jumping our fence and breaking our fence and coming into our backyard, domestic issues and fights, just to name a few. I was really happy to see that you guys had implemented at least a temporary ban on these. But the property next door to us is continuing to operate an Airbnb. We've had numerous parties and issues, and I've called the police each time, but they continue to operate despite the ban. And I can see on Airbnb's website that you can go on and still book for anything this month or next month. So they're not complying with it. And I also think that they are taking advantage of the city's leniency with the parking, because while there has been issues in the past, it's become much, much worse recently. And I think that they know that they're not going to be enforced. And we've had issues where every single spot on our street is taken, and even one incident where a car was parked in the middle of the street that was really dangerous to try to get around it. And when I contacted the police department, I'm told that they can't respond, even if it's not to cite, but to just ask people to move because of COVID and not enforcing the parking. So I guess I'm just trying to see if there's anything that can be done while the ban is in place to stop these short-term rentals that are violating the ban that was implemented.
Thank you. And thank you for raising that to our attention. We, of course, expect the ban to be implemented and for those businesses that are operating in the residential neighborhoods to be shut down. So I expect that staff will listen and make it so. Okay. Phone number ending in 950 is the next speaker for an item not on the agenda tonight. You can press *6 to unmute your phone. Phone number ending 950.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, hi there.
Excuse me, Mayor Foley.
Yes, Mr. Chan.
Yes, I have another
You've
speaker.
already spoken. I'm
Can you
sorry,
switch
Mr.
me
Chan.
to the other?
You already spoke, Mr. Chan.
Yeah, but I have another speaker.
Oh, okay. Okay, who is it?
Her name is Estella. Can you please switch me to the other channel you had me on?
Oh, I can't switch you. I don't know how to do that. Ms. Green, do we have a way to do that?
No, Madam Mayor, we do not.
Mr. Chan, I see your name. Hold on. I see your name is.
Take it, yes.
No, but I see your name is on here. You're in the queue twice. So if you want to unraise your hand on this one that you're on with the phone and raise your hand with where you're on your computer, then we can.
How do you unraise this one?
How do you unraise this? Like that again?
Or just let her speak right there. That's fine. We can hear her.
Okay, go ahead, Estella. Please, right here is fine.
Okay.
Yes.
Sí.
Go ahead and
Buenas
speak.
tardes.
She does need a
Buenas
translator.
tardes, Estela, go ahead.
Ya, buenas tardes, con todo respeto.
We're going to get a translator.
Ya.
Sí.
Sí.
Okay, Ms. Gonzalez, are you there?
Sí. Buenas tardes.
Okay, un momento. Gladys, are you there?
Yes, I'm
Okay,
here.
can you explain to her how it's going to work?
Sí. Perdón, no agarré su nombre. ¿Cómo se llama? Bueno.
Estela.
Estela Raya. Sí.
Ok. Estela, hola, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Gladys.
Buenas tardes. Sí.
Y voy a ser su traductora.
Sí,
Si me
muchas
hace el favor
gracias.
de hacer una pausa después de cada oración para poder traducir.
Sí, muchas gracias. Pues con todo respeto, yo vengo a quejarme también, porque yo también soy muy afectada. La barda de la casa donde yo tengo 15 años viviendo está pegada a la tienda del Smart, donde justamente se paran los carros.
Estela, un segundo, voy a traducir lo que me dijo, ¿ok?
Camiones.
She said, with all due respect, she's here because she wants to complain as well regarding the issue. Ok, ¿puedes seguir?
Sí, sí.
Puedes seguir.
Sí. Pues como le digo, ya miren, yo tengo 15 años en el 18. En el 19 está tremendo ya el ruido. A las 4 o 5 de la mañana está el ruidazo, uno ya no puede dormir, descansar. Entonces, yo también estoy muy molesta por eso. Yo he ido a quejarme, pero no me hacen caso.
Ok,
les digo, voy a llamar a la policía. Dice, pues llámala. Entonces,
usted dijo que vive en la 18.
Es una vía correcta para que nos apoyen y nos ayuden para ese caso que ya no soportamos. Incluso yo tengo migrañas.
Estela, ¿me da un segundo, por favor?
Con ese ruido. Pues,
Estela, un momento, Estela. Go ahead, Ms. Gonzalez.
Estela, usted dijo que vivía en la 18 o la 19, perdón.
Yo vivo Pomona y Center, pegadita a la tienda, en la mera esquinita, ahí pegada. La misma barda de la tienda es la misma barda de la casa.
Ok, un segundo. Voy a traducir lo que me dijo hace unos momentos. She says that she lives on Pomona and Center, right behind on the wall. And she says that like 4 or 5 in the morning that, you know, they're not able to sleep because of the noise and it's gotten really bad. Ok, si quieres seguir, Estela, y si me hace favor de hacer una pausa después de cada oración, por favor.
And Ms. Gonzalez, could you let her know, I don't know if she heard that we directed staff to address this?
Señora Estela, sí escuchó, no sé si escuchó, pero la alcaldesa hace unos momentos le dio dirección a los empleados aquí que traigan con un reporte para la próxima semana o para la próxima junta.
Sí, muy bien.
Very well.
Sí.
Anything else?
¿Otra cosa que quiere decir?
Pues otra cosa que quiero yo, bueno, y necesito, es ahí como unos stop en la calle esa principal Pomona y donde salen los carros, porque ahí es muy difícil ya pasar. Incluso ahí han chocado enfrente de la casa, hasta la barda me han tumbado. Ahí chocan mucho los carros.
Un momento, Estela. Another thing she'd like to add is a stop sign on Pomona. She said the principal street there. She said next to the brick wall. She said that there's actually been a time when somebody's actually crashed into that wall. So she would like a stop sign there.
Okay. Councilor Chavez, is that your district? Okay.
Yes. So if I can just give staff the actual intersection, she's referring to Center and Pomona, right before you hit Martin Final.
Okay. Okay. Anything else?
Otra cosa, Estela, que quiere decir.
Pues lo único que les quiero pedir es que por favor nos ayuden con este detalle, con si es problema, que nos ayuden a resolverlo.
Okay. She said the last thing just wants to.
Lo más pronto que se pueda, porque ya vienen los días de que va a haber mucho tráfico aquí.
Sí, claro, Stella. Un segundo mientras lo traduzco. She just said that lastly, she just wants to, make sure or ask that you guys can help him with this situation, especially now that there's going to be more traffic in that intersection.
Okay, thank you. We are going to address it and we'll get a report back to the council within a week. And Councilmember Chavez is going to follow up on that with them.
Gracias, Estela.
Y muchas gracias a ustedes.
Gracias.
Buenas noches.
Okay, the next speaker we have for an item not on the council agenda is Henny.
Hi, everyone. How are you? Hope you guys are doing great. Thank you for everything that you do. I had a quick question regarding a grand opening and ribbon cutting ceremony that we had for a business that just opened their new shop here in Costa Mesa. It's called Electric Bike, and they're in Old Newport, right across the street from Carl's Jr. And I was there, Ben Chapman was there, Chamber of Commerce was there, and we had the mayor of Newport Beach, Will O'Neill there, and Diane Dixon there. And we had representatives from the county supervisor, but we had no representative from our city council for a brand new business that just opened, and they're going to be bringing a lot of revenue to our city. So I just wanted to bring it up to the attention in an economy right now that our small businesses are tanking left and right. As a small business owner, we need support from our city council. We need to show up for our small businesses. So let's put an effort into making sure that at least one representative from the city will welcome a new business when they open, and that would be greatly appreciated. I hope you guys all have a wonderful holiday, and thank you for everything that you do. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is Alexandra. Alexandra, are you there?
Hi. Thank you for allowing me to say something here. This is my first time joining. I'm a newer resident here in Westside Costa Mesa, and just hearing Estela's comments earlier, I just wanted to echo her same sentiment for Placentia Avenue. We live in the area, and I'm constantly seeing people running across Placentia Avenue to get to the small businesses that are opening up around here. I think there are a lot of younger residents opening up small businesses who can no longer afford an east side and are trying to create somewhat of a younger arts community here in Westside. And you also have residents who have lived here a long time that I see just running across the street with no stoplights and no crosswalks. So I just wanted to highlight that. And I wanted to ask if there are any plans for improvement projects on Placentia within the parameters of the bikeway and walkability improvements that are already scheduled for the city.
Okay, thank you so much. Anyone else wishing to speak to an item not on the council agenda tonight, please raise your hand with the hand raise feature or press *9 on your telephone. All right, seeing no one, we will now move to the next item on our agenda, which is public comments, another public comments, but public comments that are related to our outgoing council members. If there's anyone who wishes to speak at this time, wanting to give any comments related to our retiring council members, please raise your hand in the hand raise feature and or press *9 on your telephone. Okay, Alexandra, are you here for this item or was it left over?
Well, I was just curious because I did have a question, so I was just wondering in what format.
Oh, yeah. So we don't answer the question right now. We do that during our council comments. So we will get an answer to your question. We don't have those answers off the tops of our head, but someone will, I'm sure, ask Mr. Setharaman to get a response to the council. Okay?
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Mr. McCarty, you're up. Mr. McCarty, are you there?
Yep, sorry, the mute button didn't come up until after I started talking. So I want to thank all the departing council members for their service, but I especially want to thank departing Mayor Pro Tem John Stevens, who has just helped drive so many positive changes for Costa Mesa in the 4 years he served on the council. He's going to be greatly missed. And as a Mesa Verde resident, I was doubly disappointed that we missed having our district represented by a person so capable as John. So I just want to thank him for his service.
Thank you. Okay, we next have call-in user 1. You can press *6 on your telephone.
Yes, I'd like to thank everyone that serves in the capacity of an elected. It's a difficult job, but especially I'd like to thank Councilwoman Sandy Guinness, who has saved our fairground, who's helped protect Fairview Park, who has been so environmentally conscious, has been an expert in planning and issues having to do with building of the city. And I want to thank her mostly for genuinely caring more about the city than she has her own issues. Thank you and good luck, Councilman Guinness. We're going to miss you and all of your input, especially financial expertise. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Castaneghi.
Hi, good evening. My name is Hank Castagnetti. I'm the Orange County Model Engineer Liaison to the Fairview Park Steering Committee. And I want to thank the outgoing City Council members, John Stevens, Sandy Guinness, and Alan Mansour for all the support that they've given the train club over the years. Your commitment to the city and to the residents of Costa Mesa has been greatly appreciated and certainly appreciated by the train club. Thank you all and good luck in your future endeavors.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak at this time, please raise your hand in the hand raise feature or press *9 on your telephone. Okay, seeing no one, then we will now move to presentations. And, oh, I'm sorry, Councilmember Marr, was that left over? I apologize.
No, that was new. I just wanted to be first in line to talk when we get to talk.
Oh, okay, very good. Okay, we will now move to presentations. And for tonight's presentation, we're going to be recognizing Councilmember Guinness, Councilmember Mansour, and Mayor Pro Tem Stevens. Ms. Farrell Harrison.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. This is a very special time during this meeting for us to bid farewell to 3 council members that have been just extraordinary to work with over the past year and a half that I've been here, but obviously for longer periods and many having served previously as well. And so I'm gonna try not to get emotional, but I have to say that the last year and a half since I've been here as your new city manager has been an incredible honor, privilege, and it's just been an incredible opportunity for me to work with such a dedicated council, such incredibly talented and intelligent community members that are so committed to serving the community. And so we have some gifts for you, but I just wanted to make a couple of remarks on behalf of all of us and the leadership team, the city manager's office, the city's employees, our residents, our council, our mayor, just in solidarity, thanking you for your incredible work, your tenacity, the amount of time that you've spent on very complicated issues, the most complicated issues that any public elected officials have had to deal with really in our lifetimes in the last 100 years, a period of pandemic, civil unrest, earthquakes, wildfires, just about every calamity that we can think of has come our way, and you've handled it with such grace, poise, availability. I've called countless emergency meetings, and I have always felt supported and the opportunity to work with you to strategize and do what we think is best for the community that we serve. And it's been a real honor and a privilege. There are a lot of milestones that you've achieved even before my tenure, obviously, in working with Tammy Letourneau, working with Tom Hatch as well. many of them that our residents can see and some that are not always so visible to the public eye. But in terms of the ones that are very visible and will be long lasting and will have your names forever associated with them, we have the new Donald Dungan Library, which of course that was one of my first opportunities to get to meet some of you. And I was astonished at how a city was building a new library when many cities can't afford to keep open the libraries that they have. And that's something that you should feel very proud of. The opening of Fire Station number 1, which is a beautiful fire station, the opening of a new temporary bridge shelter and dealing with that issue, the lawsuit, and being one of the few cities in the region to step up to address the challenging issues related to homelessness and people that have fallen through the safety net and need those services. The purchase of a new permanent shelter, which the construction is currently underway and is expected to open in March. And for Mayor Pro Tem Stevens, convincing the council to hold the July 4th celebration at the OC Fairgrounds, which was one of the first events where I really got to see your great sense of humor and putting yourself in the dunk tank and allowing for small children and even some other council members to dunk you. And, so many other achievements, adopting, quick changes to city rules, policies, regulations to allow our businesses to thrive and to survive the best way we can during the pandemic, and just handling all of this with such sincerity, character, integrity all along the way, and just doing an incredible job, and being so supportive of staff as well. And so those achievements just scratch the surface. We can't, no words can really express the commitment that you've made to the job and the challenges that we faced this past year. Again, historic times with historic leadership. And so I just wanted to share with you those insights. And on a personal level, I met you all at the same time at my interview, and I remember a lot of what you said. And we worked together as a team to try to get those things accomplished. And it's always very challenging with so many different stakeholder concerns. One of the things that I like about the three of you is your diversity of opinion. The adage, there's an old adage that says, if everyone is thinking alike, no one is thinking. And I could always count on this council to think of everything, right? And if staff didn't think of it, I am confident that, Mayor Pro Tem Stevens, with your experience as an attorney, you're always going to bring an added level of scrutiny, due diligence, experience to bear. Councilmember Mansour, with your experience as a former state legislator, you have a lot of experience, strong institutional memory as well as it relates to past issues that have faced our city. And of course, Councilmember Guinness, as a former mayor and council member as well, always having great insights, your background in planning, always a supplement to staff's knowledge and expertise, and just all of you together being able to push us forward and to be, more diligent, more creative, more thoughtful, and to, break the mold and always push to do more. And so that diversity of opinion is something that I've really enjoyed working with all of you with, because if you all have thought of it, then we've thought of just about everything. And so on behalf of the entire leadership team and all of us here on the call, our mayor and council, we're just sad to see you go. We understand that you are moving on now to different horizons. We know that you're still here and you're still going to be very dedicated and committed, and we're always available to work with you on any issues or concerns that you have. Mayor Pro Tem Stevens, I remember you saying, "Welcome to the jungle." When I started, you weren't kidding. And so it's been a time unlike any other, for certain. But just on a personal note, I've always appreciated your compassion and your sense of humor, your incredible storytelling. My husband is going to miss you tremendously. I know you have a good bromance there. And so Reggie sends his love and his regards. And just wanted to share with you that one of the things that as staff, we appreciate a lot about you too, is you take the time to commend us for the things that we do well. And so we hear a lot about the things that we're not doing enough of, and that's part of the job. You take the time to commend us about the things that we are doing well. And that fills our cup when we're running low, when we're spinning our tires, and sometimes we just need that extra push, and you always provide that for us. And so Thank you for that. Your compassion and your integrity, your commitment to always doing the right thing, and keeping us financially stable has been some of the things that I've really come to enjoy. Sandy, your dedication to the city and taking this role so seriously is something that I've always admired, and I've been impressed as it relates to you as staff. We could always count on that institutional knowledge for you to explain why things happen a certain way, why we did the things that we did, always challenging us to think about things differently with your experience, and just being able to count on you too for fiscal conservatism, which is the key of a strong and stable city, and making sure that we're making good, stable financial decisions. And then Alan, I remember meeting you at my second interview and meeting your beautiful family, and I see that you have some with you now. And I just remember our breakfast meetings as well, where we could brainstorm on how to do things differently in the city. And so thank you for your service, your experience again as a state legislator, former mayor, and understanding government is one of the things that as staff we really appreciated. Just understanding the inner workings of government and the role of staff has been great, and your agility, taking swift action, your commitment to excellence. And just on behalf of staff, one of the things I always heard about you is how kind you are, and they really appreciated that kindness. Kindness is underrated lately, and but for you it was important, and that's something that the staff feels very strongly about. And so on behalf of the staff, that's just something that they've always said about you. And so I would go on. There's so much that I can say. I'll say more to you personally offline, but I just wanted to give some gifts to you on behalf of everyone. And so I have them here, so bear with me while I turn. And so we have the infamous Costa Mesa tile, which this one here happens to be Alan's, I believe. But we would normally present these to you, but this is for each of you separately. Of course, you'll have your own tile, which is a longstanding Costa Mesa tradition. And so just another commemoration gift for your dedication and your service to the city of Costa Mesa. We have also created some street signs for you. And so courtesy of our public services team. So this one here is Stevens Way, but we have a Mansour Way and a Guinness Way as well. And so we'll also be giving that to you. I know that we have provided photo books for you that commemorate the time that you spent with us, many wonderful memories of special events that we've been through together, and some of those special moments that we've captured. And so hopefully that's a takeaway that you can enjoy with your families and that you can reflect on, again, in a historic time period that none of us will ever forget. Generations forward will look back at this time. How did the Costa Mesa City Council handle the pandemic of 2019, 2020, COVID-19, and its impact on 2020? And you have that memorialized for your families and or for the generations. And so I think right now we have a video, a commemorative video that we'd like to show. Before I go to that, I just wanted to also say that it really has been an incredible pleasure working with everybody, and we wish you a lot of luck, and we're here. You'll always be important to us as residents, and hopefully we've done our best to serve you well and achieve some great things together, and we know that there's still more work that needs to be done. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to our Costa Mesa TV team to play the commemorative video.
The library becomes a sanctuary, a place that they can go, a place that they can escape, a place that they can learn. It's a time when we're really going to have a place where kids in our community and adults can develop intellectually, and that's so important.
Mosquito control is a shared responsibility. Fortunately, there are several easy things we can do to protect ourselves. Remember to dump it and drain it. These are simple things we can do. But if you're puzzled and need more solutions, just call the Orange County Mosquito and Vector Control District.
Alan Mansour has showed up with his family, and we're going to go over and talk to him for a quick second.
We're showing the kids all the tractors and just walking around the grounds to see everything and taking it all in.
Yeah, I'm amazed that they're still doing some of the lima beans today. I'm trying to find out if it's really just kind of something to keep going because it's traditional, or someone just really likes still doing it and keeping that alive.
I didn't ask that question. That's a great question, though.
That's great.
That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So at this time, I would like to invite our council members to say a few words if they'd like to. And we will start with Council Member Mansour.
Thank you. So first of all, I've got some of my kids in and out intermittently here. I think normally when we say our goodbyes, it's at the council chambers and family's normally there and you recognize them and thank everyone. And so it's just difficult. So they wanted to be here with me. And so thank you for everyone's patience. One went to bed and the uncooperative one has been relocated, and I've got the two compliant ones now. And so before I forget, whoever's responsible for the cupcake and the cake or the cookie that was sent to us, thank you. I divided it equally into 4 pieces, the cupcake and the cookie in 4 pieces, and my kids enjoyed it. So thank you for that. Just a few things. Thomas Jefferson is believed to have said that politics is a splendid misery and a daily loss of friends. And there may be some truth to that, but it's only part of the picture. If I had never run for office, I never would have met my incredible wife, and I never would have had these 4 beautiful children as well. I won't go into the whole story, but everybody looks back at those things. If I never done this in my life, this never would have happened. So I can point to a lot of things that if I never had run for office, this never would have happened. And a lot of it I'm grateful for. If I had to name one other thing I'm grateful for in having run for office, it's the number of people I have met, the number of friends I've made over the years, and the influence they've had on me and on my life. I still run into people at the market around town who tell me that I knocked on their door, several years ago, and took the time to talk with them, and I'm grateful for that time and that experience with people in the community. There's also a saying in politics that that politics is a greedy mistress, and I can attest that that is factually true. It sucks up all your time if you let it. Hey, hold on a second, buddy. So the new people coming up here, don't let it do that to you. Don't forget about the other things to balance your life with. But now it's time for me to focus on other things and my family, and to take some much needed time away from all of this. I do want to say thank you to our city staff who have been most helpful over the years. I'm very grateful. Without your help, we couldn't do the things that we do. So much has changed since I first got elected in 2002. I started my campaign a year before that and was involved with civic issues prior to that. And that makes it at least 20 years of civic involvement. and that includes 3 terms or 12 years on the council, 3 terms as mayor, 2 terms in the state assembly. And I think back about the names and faces that are no longer here and how much has changed and with interacting with everyone with COVID. And let's just say it's a bittersweet time for me right now. A lot of great memories, and that's what I try to cling to and focus on. But let's just say that I need a break, and so I'm grateful for that. I'm not saying I'll never be involved again, but when or how remains to be seen. So thank you to all of my supporters. Thank you to everyone who has ever voted for me. I am very grateful for this opportunity that so very few people get. So thank you, and I wish everyone the best. Thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for your service. Okay, Councilmember Guinness, would you like to say a few words?
Okay, this is hard. I did okay watching the video until you put up Brad. And then, of course, for those of us who knew and loved Brad, that was very difficult. He was a great loss to the city. Cut down way too young. But anyway, moving on. First, I want to thank the staff for being patient, for putting up with me when I was maybe not patient, and for responding to our requests and answering questions, especially when I came back on the council in 2012. Colleen's since retired, but she spent a lot of time with the 1,000,001 questions that I had on the comprehensive annual financial reports. And I really thank all of the staff for always taking the time to answer the questions, because it gave me a much better understanding of what we were doing. And then next time when we had a similar issue, I could kind of cut to the chase. And I'd like to thank my fellow council members. Even when we disagreed vehemently, you made me think. And I like it when people make me think. Even if sometimes after I think about it, I'll do more research, I'll dig into things. And even if I still maintain the same position, I had to clarify my data, verify my facts. And I always appreciate that. And sometimes even you made me change my position. So thank you for that. And above all, I thank the public for coming and holding our feet to the fire. And sometimes we didn't like what they had to say because it made us squirm, but I really appreciate that. And that's why this whole COVID thing is so weird, because I really wish we could, I know people could call in, but I wish we could have that face-to-face with the public some more. And I always have believed that that's the number one thing for a city, is bringing in the public, being open to the public, having the public participate as much as possible, and being a part of the discussion and being able to hear all of our thought processes, such as they are. Sometimes not a lot of thought there, but being able to actually know what we're doing and how we're doing it, and why we're doing it. And that's one of the troubling things about COVID. So I'm hoping that we'll go over these hurdles sometime. And one of the things that the first, way back in 2013, we had a report done by Chip Espinoza, who interviewed council members, department heads, people even from other agencies, various stakeholders, because the city was very troubled at the time. And he came up with a bunch of recommendations, but the number one thing that he said was to our city management, all our department heads and our electeds. Well, first it was the people who worked here, was that you have to love the city more than you love your job working here in order to clear up the dysfunction in the city. And some of you who were here at the time know what I'm talking about. And I would say that to every council member, whether you're a continuing council member, whether you're a new council member, you could do good things. You could accomplish a lot. But to make our city truly great, you need to love the city more than you love your political career, more than you love sitting up here on the dais, more than you love having people in the supermarket tell you you're wonderful, even though if you're a council member, more often than not, they've got, a pothole or something they want to complain about. But that's a word that I would like everybody to think about. Love the city more than you love your career, whether it's a government career or a political career. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mayor Pro Tem Stevens.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate that those words, Lorianne, and the video, which I'm sure that was Dane that helped with that. Thank you to first. I want to say, because I can't forget this. Thank you to my family, to Amy, and who's been very supportive and tolerant of these 4 years, and Tommy and Nate and Carolyn and Olivia. And I just want to say for the record, Alan, I did ask Nate to join me, but he's not nearly as cute as your kids anymore. He had his day, but it's long past over. But I did ask him. I'll tell you, folks, and the people that are coming in, Dawn and Lauren and Jeff, the one thing about being a council member is you don't do anything by yourself. It's impossible. There are two ways that you accomplish something in this job. One is by getting enough votes, getting people to agree with you, 4 votes, and you move things forward. And for that, you thank your council members. And then, of course, nothing gets done even after that without the city staff. Everything goes through the city staff. And we have a tremendous city staff. I want to just take some time. This is going to sound a little bit like an Academy Awards speech, but luckily we don't have an orchestra to play me off. I just want to recognize you all. So in the first half of my first term, it was the team of 5. We had Jim Righeimer. We had, of course, Alan and Sandy and Katrina and myself. We accomplished a great deal. And then, of course, Jim left us in 2018, and we were joined by these great 3 council members, Councilmember Chavez, Manuel Chavez, Arliss Reynolds, and Andrea Marr. And then we really, I think, supercharged our efforts. And we've done some amazing things in the last 2 years. And now getting to that and getting to some of the staff members, I do believe that the most important and consequential vote that I've ever made was approving Lorianne Farrell Harrison as our city manager, who we could not have gotten through this year without her. We could not have accomplished what we have accomplished. And we've done a lot in the last, since she's been here, but especially in the last year, it's been very difficult. And Lorianne, tell Reggie still has my number, so he can call me anytime. And so please don't let him forget that. Susan Price, when you came on board, that was your the homelessness czar. That's of course an issue that's so important to me, and you've taken our efforts up to the next level in that area. Chief Stefano, an unbelievable leader, a leader of men and women. But I'm so proud to have watched you work in some very difficult times. Chief Glass, you're great. You're a progressive leader. You're an inspiration to your department. And it's the tough department, and it's probably our most important department. So God bless you moving forward. Raja, Lorianne called you an inspirational leader, and you are. You finish things on time and on budget. Thank you for that. Jennifer Lee, you've got a very difficult job, and you're doing a great job in code enforcement and planning, and it's going to get more difficult with Measure Q, but we'll be there working together on that. And Jason Minter, you have had a very difficult time bringing kids and people back to the parks during COVID. What a wild time to join the city at that position. And Carol Molina, thank you very much. You know, we are an AA plus city with a balanced budget and $54 million in reserves. Thank you, Carol, for your work. Steve Ely, I don't know how you do it. We're going to improve our information technology infrastructure, but you've been keeping it together with bubble gum and paper clips and rubber bands, and you deserve a lot of credit. Brenda Green, thank you for all this, getting all this crazy stuff together, doing the elections. It's a difficult thing to do, as you know, and I appreciate you. Dane and Tony, Dane, everything you do on the video level, and Tony Dodero getting us out there and getting the word out is great, and your snapshots are always on point. Finally, I just want to go, well, not finally, it's not quite finally, some former staff members, Barry Curtis, Justin Martin, who just killed for us on the homeless shelter and also on the animal shelter, Dan Baker, my old buddy Santa Claus, Jennifer Christ, Tammy Letourneau, and Brad Long. Unbelievable to see him. So anyway, we've accomplished a lot. I'm not done. I still love the city. I will still serve the city. I will support you. And finally, I'll say good luck and congratulations to Jeff and Lauren and Don. You'll be great council members.
Okay, thank you all for those really beautiful words from everyone. I'd like to now invite our council members, current council members, to, if you'd like to say a few words. And we will start with Councilmember Marr. If you'd like to speak, please raise your hand in the hand raise.
I got the 20 minutes ago. Yeah, I want to say thank you to all three of you for your service. You know, it's a funny thing to not agree with someone, but know that they do love the city so much that that's why they feel the way that they do. And I know that was true for the both of you. I never doubted for 1 minute that the place you were coming from was one of absolute dedication and commitment to the city. So thank you for that. I do have one really sappy thing that I'm totally going to tear up. For John Stevens, I first heard this. I'll give this to you in real life. I first heard this from you. I had it framed, and I'll give it to you in person eventually. But there's a quote from Calvin Coolidge that says, "Nothing in this world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful people with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. The slogan, 'Press on,' has solved and always will solve the problems of the human race." Calvin Coolidge. So this is for you, John. And every time I hear the word persistence, I think of you, and I will continue to. So thank you so much for your service, the three of you. Please, take some time, enjoy some Tuesdays not being on city council, and then I'm sure we'll see you again back involved in the city in some capacity. Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you. Councilmember Chavez.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I was reflecting a bit on each member that's leaving us today, and I think there's one piece of advice that everyone has given me that's leaving that I think has been a great benefit to me on this council these past 2 years. I'll begin with Councilmember Guinness. I remember when I first got elected, we met at Seven Leaves Coffee and had a nice 3-hour conversation about general governance. And I remember asking her, how do you approach governance? And Tanya said this quote that I'll never forget. She said, "Be impossible. Look and read the agenda item and see what you don't like, because that will lead to more questions to make sure you're doing a thorough process." And every time Member Guinness had a complaint, I always had a smile on my face because I know she did her homework and her due diligence because she cares so much about Costa Mesa. So Member Guinness, I see you laughing, but that did stick to me. So I really appreciate that from you. To Alan, I ran at a really young age. I ran at 23 years old, and I remember my first debate was horrible. And I remember watching the tape afterwards with my campaign team, and I saw your style of being a leader. And I saw you at council meetings, how you prioritized being stoic, how you prioritized speaking with a purpose, and how you always did your best to make sure your concerns were raised, but in a polite manner. And, you know, I hope I can emulate that from you. You know, it served you well for these 20 years of governance. And I just want to thank you because, you know, we don't talk a lot, but that's one thing I really do appreciate from you. And then Member Pro Tem Stevens, you took me under your wing really early on, and I will never forget the advice you gave me, because this is the one I use every single time I make a decision. You said, do all the homework in the world, talk to every resident, read every item, talk to staff. But if there's one thing you remember is this: make a decision, explain why, and stand by it. I think that is the most effective way to summarize our job with council members, because we hear everyone's point of view, we hear constituents' concerns, staff concerns, and ultimately we need to aggregate those comments and decide. And I think, having seen you these past 2 years, I have found no one who's more willing to listen to a constituent, no one who's more willing to explain their thought process, and no one more firm in their decision making, John. So I really want to thank you three for those pieces of advice you've given me, and thank you so much for serving our great city, Costa Mesa. I know you have all, in your own way, left an impact on our beautiful city. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Councilmember Reynolds.
Thank you. Thank you to the three council members who we're saying goodbye to tonight. I haven't much missed being in person on council. I've sort of enjoyed being able to do council meetings with sweatpants on for the last few months. But I'm as I've been reflecting, I really do feel like I've missed an opportunity to be working alongside you in our council meetings. And for that, I'm sad. I learned from all of you, and I wish we had more time sort of physically in the same place over the last year. Echo all of the thoughts that I've heard tonight. We're losing a lot of institutional memory, but I think you guys have all earned a break. Alan, I think the big winners are the others in the screen with you tonight, and your wife, who will get a lot more of your time. I really appreciate that we've been able to have a very positive relationship all on council together. I've learned a lot from your comments and your questions, and I really appreciate the diversity of opinion that you've brought to our discussions. And I know I've run into your family a few times around the neighborhood, and I look forward to seeing you all at the park together soon. Councilmember Guinness, I've really missed sitting next to you. I enjoyed the first year when we were in council seated next to each other. I always appreciated your questions and learned a lot from you. And I was sharing recently one of my favorite memories on council so far. And it was one where, as you alluded to earlier today, where you changed an opinion on council. That was the vote on the rainbow flag. And I think that represented a lot for me in general. But I think it represented one of the things I most admire about you, and that is your absolute dedication to being open and listening and loving the city and loving our residents. And I just want to share that that's one of my favorite memories, and I was really happy to be sitting next to you in that meeting. And John, we'll miss a lot of things about you. I think you probably make us laugh the most and make us cry the most. Certainly a great storyteller. I appreciated in the video that we saw that the clip our staff chose to use was you talking about the library, because I think that was one of the things that we connected on the most, the dedication to the kids in our community, and especially early childhood education. I'm sad that we didn't get to work as much on that as we had hoped, since we had many pressing issues over the last year, but I'm happy to hear that you will continue to be involved, and I hope we can continue to work on that issue together. So thank you all. We'll miss you all. Absolutely.
All right, thank you. And it looks like Mayor Pro Tem Stevens has his hand up again. Mayor Pro Tem Stevens.
I'm not going to go out that easily. I've got a rebuttal for all of you. No, I'm just kidding. So, kids, hey, listen, kids at home, I just want to tell you this, that when you're ever doing a speech like I just did, type out your remarks. Don't write them down on a crappy yellow pad, okay? because I missed some very important people and a couple of groups that I wanted to include. And it's also a risk when you name people that you're going to I didn't forget them. They're on my list. It's just, I can't read my own writing. Kim Barlow, unbelievable work as the city attorney. I mean, on every level, including suing the federal and state government and winning. That's major when you're going up against Donald Trump and Gavin Newsom at the same time, among many, many other victories, including the Yellowstone case and so forth, and working with Jennifer Keller and more recently with Cy Everett. Major, major work. And I didn't forget you. I just can't read my own writing. And then two other people, Connor Locke, who's our chief of staff for the last 2 years, has done a remarkable job throughout the city and kind of is glued, it pulls everything together in our constituent services team. You've done a remarkable job. Thank you very much. And then I would be a complete schmuck if I didn't recognize Janet Hauser, who's been helping me with everything as my assistant for the last 4 years, and she's great. And then I just want to also say that I mentioned the police department as being so important, and they are, but the fire department is working so hard, and it's going to get even more difficult with all the wildfires and COVID and everything like that. So thanks for the fire department, and then all of the employees in OCEA who stepped up with the furlough and everything you do every day. It is a absolute team. There's every single employee with the city is awesome. They all work hard. That's all I have to say. Now I'm done.
Okay. Well, so at this time, I would like to we have a special video before I give my remarks. We have a special video from our Assemblywoman, Cotty Petrie Norris. Maybe.
Just 1 minute, Mayor, we're queuing it up.
Here we go.
Good evening, Costa Mesa. This is Assemblywoman Cotty Petrie Norris. It's such a pleasure to join you for the Costa Mesa City Council swearing-in ceremony. What a special night for the city. I first want to take this opportunity to thank our 3 remarkable outgoing council members who have spent their tenures making Costa Mesa a better place to live and work. My warmest thank yous to Mayor Pro Tem John Stevens, Councilmember Sandy Guinness, and Councilmember Alan Mansour. Your dedication to public service and to the city of Costa Mesa is commendable, and I wish you the very best in your future endeavors. Next, Mayor Foley, congratulations on your re-election. Your experienced leadership has been invaluable for the city of Costa Mesa, and I am so pleased that we will have the opportunity to continue to work together. And to Lauren Gamiros, Jeff Harlan, and Don Harper, congratulations on your election and welcome to the City Council. And thank you so much for stepping up to serve the city of Costa Mesa. You are taking office at a moment of incredible challenge for the city, for the state, and for the entire nation. The stakes are incredibly high, and right now, more than ever, we need good leaders and we need real public servants. I look forward to collaborating with you on the many priorities facing the city of Costa Mesa and the state of California. And I am confident that working together, we can and we will beat this crisis and build back our community stronger than ever. And to everyone watching from home, happy holidays, warmest wishes to you and to your family. Be safe, stay strong. We will get through this together.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Assemblywoman Cotty Petrie Norris. And So now I just want to make a couple of comments and parting comments. Everyone has said so many great things about our retiring council members, and I think we all have had a lot of history together. In fact, all four of us have had a lot of history together in one way or the other. Councilmember Guinness, I want to thank you for joining me and partnering with Mayor Pro Tem Stevens against 2 charter initiatives and to protect Fairview Park with Measure AA. And of course, all of our efforts to save the Orange County Fairgrounds, which is one of our favorite locations and has become during this COVID an amazing resource for helping our community. And I got this beautiful reminder of all of the efforts Councilmember Guinness and I took to work really hard in saving the fairgrounds. And so thank you for that incredible work. Also, the homeless shelter, we all participated in really helping to create this homeless shelter, which is going to transform eventually when we get out of COVID, the way that our community feels here in Costa Mesa and to really care for people. Thank you, Councilmember Guinness, for helping us in 2016 return to public comments and return our city to a system of government that is for government and not privatization. And thank you also for always being the voice in my ear, because I always am listening and I'm always thinking, what would Sandy think? And what is Sandy going to say? And I'm always trying to be ahead of it. So I do listen, I do care, and I want to thank you for making us all listen and care. I know you're looking forward to spending more time with Gracie, and I'm sure we'll find you at Fairview Park and involved in public service some way, because it's just part of who you are. So thank you. And Alan, thank you for your many, many years of public service. You and I started out at the same time and have done battle all these years, but I think that the quote that Sandy mentioned was really fitting, because although we do think differently quite a bit, we also, I think, challenge each other over the years. And the one thing I think that we both share deeply in common is our love of our family and our love of making sure that Costa Mesa is a great place for families. So I'm so thrilled to see all your kids there tonight. I know that both our families have grown up through this process, and it's a unique experience. And so your kids are benefiting from that experience. And hi, you guys. I know it's late, so sorry to keep you here. But thank you so much for caring always about Costa Mesa, being responsive to the residents. I know that is something that has always been a priority for you, that you're very responsive to the residents, whether they agree with you or not. You always respond. And that's important in public service. So thank you for that. And thank you for always caring about our city employees and making sure that they know that they're appreciated. I do believe that the city staff feel that you're a very polite and kind person to them. So thank you for that. It's very important, especially these days. So thank you for your service. And I don't think it's a secret that I'm going to be very sad with Mayor Pro Tem Stevens leaving. We have become very, very good friends. Like Councilmember Mansour mentioned, you make a lot of friends through politics. And Mayor Pro Tem Stevens and I have been through so much together. 2 charters, the Fairview Park Initiative, lawsuits regarding motel conversions, sober living homes, homelessness, and illegal dispensaries. Of course, lawsuits against Trump and Newsom at the same time, and winning in all these cases. And winning because we have great legal counsel, but also because you provided such great legal instincts and advice and input that it made our filings and our approach even better. our homeless shelter, really pushing for the homeless shelter and being willing to take risks, helping to partner with me and to help bring in Newport Beach as a partner for us. That was a huge risk that we took, and that it was really effective, or will be effective. You know, our shelter is now, it was sort of started when we went to San Antonio together, and then you went again, and you cared so deeply about these issues and wanting us to do something different and to make it different. And now we are, you know, proudly housing nearly 160 residents. It's probably more by now, I don't know. And taking people and changing their lives and making our community stronger and better for it. So thank you. Thank you for your deep dives. All your deep dives have resulted in amazing service for the city of Costa Mesa. Service that would cost people, if they were hiring you as a lawyer, tens of thousands of dollars just for the research alone. The Animal Services Committee and our new animal shelter and our no-kill shelter. That I really thank you for all your hard work for that. In finance, helping us to kind of think about our pension problems a little differently, investing in paying down our pensions, investing in refinancing some of our obligations, and really helping us through our pension issues and through our finance. Obviously, yes, helping us to hire a city manager that has amazing finance background and can steward us through some very troubling times, and is smart enough to hire other people who have great finance backgrounds and will help us even more. Building a library, a community center, a playground, a fire station, and as well as the council chambers that none of us really got to enjoy. We were just getting used to the technology, and we are now here. We are on Zoom, all from our own individual homes, and that beautiful council chambers is sitting there waiting for us, waiting for the vaccine and for us to be able to get back to the city hall. Helping us to think about diversifying our revenue. Mayor Pro Tem Stevens, you know, you really pushed us to think about diversifying our revenue streams and bringing forward the cannabis initiative, partnering with Councilmember Chavez and I to put that on the agenda and to move it forward and to take the risk that this is really something that in our guts we knew the community wanted, and they did. And now we will have a revenue source that's different than one we ever had. The ambulance transport model, working with us to get that ambulance transport model approved and having that revenue source. These are all just some of the amazing projects and initiatives that I've had the privilege of working side by side with you on that will be forever, I think, changing and transforming for the city of Costa Mesa. And I've been so honored to be able to serve with you. But more importantly, we know that you love golf and you managed to figure out a way to make your love of golf turn into a revenue source for the city of Costa Mesa. So thank you for loving golf. Thank you for loving life. Thank you for your humor. And thank you for being willing to step up when somebody had to do it. And I won't forget it. So thank you so much. I'm going to miss you so, so much. And I appreciate your service so much. Thank you all. Okay, at this time, we've had an aplomb of commentary about the outgoing council, and now we are going to have council member committee reports, comments, and suggestions, if there are any at this time, or we can skip that part and go to the report of the city manager.
I move we go to the city manager report.
Okay. All right. Ms. Farrell Harrison.
Madam Mayor, I do want to make sure we acknowledge a couple of the public comments. I think we had mentioned that we'll respond to them, so I want to make sure we don't miss that. Is now the time, or should we wait till after the?
We're gonna wait on that. We're not gonna. We'll wait. Okay, Councilmember Reynolds, if you don't mind.
Sure.
We have a section in our agenda later that's business.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have any topics unrelated to what's on the agenda tonight. Initially, I thought about providing a COVID report, but I think we're all hearing what's happening with COVID on the news. And so I just wanted to take this time to transition a little bit, just to publicly congratulate our 3 new council members that are not yet visible on the Zoom here, but after the certification of the election will be joining us. And so I'm just really happy to be able to work with some new residents that have taken on the huge responsibility of public service. It's a huge commitment, and of course, one that involves family and involves a lot of time and effort and energy and working closely on very complicated issues. And we're looking forward to the wealth of information and the knowledge and expertise that the 3 new council members will be bringing. It'll be our first time transitioning into a district-based form of government as a whole. And so we're looking forward as staff to working with every single council member to build out the city and to look at these issues on a district and a citywide basis, right? Building on all of the different great work that the outgoing council members have done, that the remaining council members have been working on, and then that agenda for the future of how to achieve greater things together. And so we will be having a council goal setting in January, on January 29th. Thank you to everybody for responding to that. I'm really looking forward to that, as well as a staff. We have all of our department heads here tonight to get to know our new council members better, and also to bid farewell to the outgoing council members. But I'll just share on a personal note, as someone who's been a career public servant, these moments like tonight really matter, where we get to share the experiences that we've had, the good moments, the challenging moments. I mean, this is what democracy is all about. It's about the difference of opinion, bringing forth the best solutions, and always striving for a better, more representative government. And I'm just so thrilled to have the opportunity to do that on a day-to-day basis. Thank you to Don Harper for running in District 1 and, bringing to the council his experience as a CFO. We'll be looking forward to working with him on that, and also being a former commissioner. That's great experience. And for Lauren Gameros, just the experience as someone who's involved in the trades and has a strong time and history with labor is an important factor. Being a city that has 8 associations, that's a big part of what we do as a city. And so understanding those dynamics is key. And being, someone who has a family and has been here for a long time. And of course, Jeff Harlan, a land use attorney and urban planner, commissioner, also bringing a great wealth of experience. And so we're lucky to have had the outgoing council members. We're lucky to have 3 new incredible council members. And of course, Mayor Foley, congratulations on your win as well. I don't have a spot in the agenda to say these things, so I'm going to take the time to say that now. You're a formidable force and someone to be reckoned with when it comes to the passion that you bring to do the best that you can for the city of Costa Mesa. I've never personally witnessed anything like it. And I think that's why you've been as successful as you have, because you're undeterred in your commitment to fight for what you think is best for the city. And we saw that in amplified form as it related to COVID and the Katrina Foley against the United States of America lawsuit, when we had to deal with the COVID issues well before any other city in our nation had to deal with. And, thank you to the outgoing council members for having the audacity to want strong planning support at every level of government for an issue as important as this. And little did we know 8 or 9 months later that we would still be dealing with COVID. But at the time, and again, also thanks to Mayor Pro Tem Stevens, having that courage to actually file and to insist on having a dialogue, a conversation with the CDC, with FEMA, with the county, and with the state CDPH. Again, never experienced anything like that, anything close to it, and couldn't have achieved it without you. And I'm looking forward very much to working with our new council members and continuing this legacy of cutting edge and bold and courageous work in the city of Costa Mesa. And so thank you again to the outgoing council members. Congratulations to the ones that are joining the team, and Mayor Foley, congratulations, and looking forward to, great work as we move forward.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Okay. Now we have City Attorney report. Ms. Barlow?
Yeah, you can't leave me out. I have to be able to pipe in a little bit here. I want to say that all three of you that are leaving have something that I admire tremendously and that I aspire to. Alan, you are always, I will say a gentleman, although I don't aspire to be a gentleman. I do aspire to have that courtesy and the way that you treat people is always very dignified, even when you're in disagreement with them. And I appreciate very much how respectful and kind you've always been to me in whatever the setting and in whatever circumstances. And the ability to disagree and yet remain polite and well-spoken about it is something that we should all strive for. So thank you. And you've grown a lot in your life since we first worked together. You have a beautiful family, and you should be just thrilled to get to spend more time with them.
Kim, if I may say, I caught the beginning and end, but my computer locked up in the middle, but I'm going to watch the replay so I can hear your comments. But I'll thank you, because I do appreciate your comments. Thank you, but I will have to watch the replay to hear them.
Okay, I won't bore you with it again. Sandy, the attention to detail and painstaking analysis, and always looking for the things that are out of kilter somehow, that need to be addressed to make something work and be correct. That's amazing to me. I try very hard to do that in my work, to cross every T and dot every I, and but you have a very such a rich intellect and an experience and a way of looking at things. And using that in your work. And I very, very much admire that. And I've really enjoyed working with you in this time that I've been city attorney while you've been on council. So thank you. You'll be missed. John Stevens, it's been 2 years. I've only worked with you for 2 years, but I feel like I've learned as much from you as I've learned from any council member ever. And your wisdom in discussing legal matters is I would say legendary at this point with this council. Your insight is very much appreciated and always has been by me, even when we didn't necessarily agree. You have convinced me more than once that your position was the right one. And I appreciate the fact that all of you have, working with the other council members and with staff, been so supportive of me and my team. That is just huge. And this entire management team, this is a wonderful team. You guys have been terrific at, inspiring us, providing us with ammunition to move forward. And Mayor Foley, I think I admire you very much, and your ambition and your drive and your energy are something to be admired, and very much. I wish I had that much energy still. I really do. So congratulations to you, and I'm really looking forward to working with the new council members, Mr. Harlan, Mr. Gamaros, and Mr. Harper. This is going to be, I think, a wonderful time in the city's history as we come out of this pandemic and move forward with all of the wonderful things that this council has begun with the homeless shelter and the community center and just so many of the projects that you've supported and brought forward. And I'm going to buy Steve Ely some new bubble gum, and we will get through the rest of the time together. And I just want to thank all of you so much for your support, and thank you all for those of you that are leaving. And I really look forward to working with the new council members. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I think at this time, let's try to look at the organization of the agenda here. I'm going to take us a little out of order and ask that there was one comment that wasn't responded to. I don't think we have an answer, but since Councilmember Reynolds raised it, I want to make sure that we address it. Mr. Setharaman, is there a response as to, do we have any plans for Placentia and any crosswalks or lighting on Placentia? That's really there were two questions, one that raised about, overall speeding in the community. And I think we've talked about that before, and we don't really have solutions for tomorrow, but that is part of something that is going to be worked on in the future. But as it specifically relates to Placentia, did you have anything?
Madam Mayor, at this point, we don't have a specific response because there is no location mentioned. It's just a Placentia, and I'm assuming it's in the vicinity of 19th Street. We have some improvements planned for that location at 19th and Placentia. And if the person who commented can call us back or call our transportation manager, Jennifer Rosales, we can definitely address any specific concerns. Just want to point out there was another mention about continental crosswalks. That's our standard now. So if you see a new street that's being done, that's the crosswalk that goes in. You can see them on Bristol Street, for example, and it's going to be on there as well, as that's recently paved. So with that, is there any specific, we'll respond to that.
Okay, so maybe what we could do, Ms. Farrell Harrison, is we could talk about, and we can maybe talk about this in January, but about having a February or March study session that is all around transportation and what are we working on in the city. That might be helpful. Okay, all right, now.
Madam Mayor.
Yeah, Councilmember Reynolds.
Mr. Setharaman, could you give just a really quick update on the timing for the pedestrian master plan? I think that's a really important and valuable upcoming opportunity for residents concerned about pedestrian safety to give input.
Yeah, Madam Mayor.
Well, wait, Ms. Farrell Harrison, did you have something?
Yeah, I was just going to suggest that because we have a study session next week, if it's okay with you, Councilmember Reynolds, I think we can circle back, get some of this information together and give you a more comprehensive, thoughtful response when we have our study session next week in the beginning of the meeting, if that's okay with you.
Okay, yep, thank you.
Nobody was prepared to answer those questions, and I think it's better that they have, thoughtful answers before responding. Okay, so public comments. At this time, we are going to take public comment on, sorry, just making sure I'm doing this right. Okay, this time we're going to be taking public comments regarding incoming council members and the resolution being adopted tonight regarding certification of the election. If you would like to speak to our incoming council members, Councilmember Gameros, Harlan, or Harper, please use the hand raise option or press *9 on your telephone and you can be called upon to speak. So if there is anyone who would like to speak to the incoming and newly elected council members, please press *9 on your telephone or use the hand raise option. Thank you. And the first speaker is Henny.
Hi, everyone. Again, Henny Abraham here. I just wanted to say thank you to all the new and incoming council members, especially shout out to Dawn Harper, who I ran on a slate with. I am extremely proud to say that I ran the same slate with you. You're going to be fantastic. Your expertise in finance is going to do our city wonders, which I myself as a business owner, I am looking forward to it. Thank you for your mentorship. Just know that you'll always have a cheerleader in the audience at city council meetings, and that would be me. And I also wanted to say thank you to Councilmember Jeff Harlan. Thank you so much for being such an amazing opponent. District 6 will be greatly represented by you, and it was an honor to run a campaign, not against you, but alongside of you. And I am always here if you ever need help in District 6. Thank you again and welcome.
Okay, Bill McCarty.
Thank you. So I just want to say congratulations, Mayor Foley, on your reelection. Costa Mesa is very fortunate to have you continue as our leader during these difficult times, anytime really. So I also want to congratulate all the new council members and take a moment to point out that new council member Harper has very large shoes to fill in replacing departing Mayor Pro Tem Stevens. So Councilmember Harper's starting at a deficit, obviously from the standpoint of accomplishments in service to the city, but also in terms of operating from a position of integrity, given that he chose to run a campaign based primarily on a deceptive claim. As a resident of Mesa Verde and City Council District 1, I expect my new council member to conduct himself with integrity going forward and operate from a foundation of facts and reality. I also want him to embody the same spirit of cooperation and public benefit that was the hallmark of Mr. Stevens' tenure. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is Ben Chapman.
Good evening, Council. As a 2020 Costa Mesa City Council candidate for District 2 in this election cycle, I want to congratulate all the incoming council members who ran for City Council in Districts 1, 2, and 6, as well as candidates who ran for mayor. Congratulations to Dawn Harper in District 1, Lauren Gameros in District 2, Jeff Harlan in District 6, and congratulations, Mayor Foley, on your reelection. It was an honor to run alongside with Sandy Guinness, Dawn Harper, and Hengame Abraham. Running for office is not easy. I'm sure all of you on the dais know this. It takes work and it can take a toll on your personal life, be it friends and family life. So thank you all for making the sacrifice. I also want to thank all the candidates for running a clean campaign this year, something I was told would not happen in Costa Mesa. Smear campaigns do nothing for the city or residents, and so I hope as we move forward with the future elections that we continue this style of campaign and elections. So thank you all, Costa Mesa City Council candidates. Best wishes to the new incoming council members, and hope we all have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Godspeed.
Okay. I guess Mr. Chapman didn't get all the mail. Next, anyone else wishing to speak at this time, please raise your hand in the hand raise feature or press *9 on your telephone. Okay, seeing no one else. See, this is what happens when you're virtual. If we weren't virtual, we'd have a whole line of people wanting to congratulate our new council members. So for that, I'm so sorry that you're not getting to have that experience. All right, so at this time, we'll close public comment and we will turn over to our new business item number 1.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is certification of the election. Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. Just wait, we're going to share a screen here. Thank you. The City of Costa Mesa held a general municipal election on November 3rd, 2020 for the election of a mayor to serve a 2-year term and for 3 council members from Districts 1, 2, and 6 to serve a 4-year term. The results of the election indicate that the 4 candidates having received the most votes are Katrina Foley for the office of mayor, Dawn Harper for the office of council member District 1, Lauren Gameros for the office of council member District 2, and Jeffrey Harlan for the office of Council Member District 6. Additionally, a majority of the voters voting on Measure Q did vote in favor of the measure, and the measure is carried. Staff recommendation is to adopt resolution number 2020-62, approving the final certification of the election. This concludes my report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Council, are there any questions? Please raise your hand in the hand raise feature. Seeing none, I will close the item and ask for a motion. Councilmember Chavez.
I move to approve the election results.
Councilmember Mar.
Second.
Okay, Councilmember Chavez, would you like to speak to the motion?
Democracy matters. This is why we vote, and this is the sacred part of being a democracy, is that we respect the result of votes. So that's all.
Thank you, Councilmember Mar.
Nothing to add.
Okay. At this time, Mayor Pro Tem Stevens getting the last word.
Yeah, you know what? I have to take one more bite at the apple here. Congratulations and good luck, as I said to Jeff and Lauren and Don. You did all run, as Ben Chapman said, a clean race, and you're going to be fabulous council members. But I really don't feel as if I have done justice to what I think about the leadership of Mayor Foley. If you look at those results, you see that really she was the only one of the candidates that got a majority, 52%, and ran against 4 other people. That's extraordinary. She got almost as many votes as Measure Q, which is saying something. She has been a tireless servant when we really needed her, and there was no one else to fight for the people in Costa Mesa. I've given a long version of this speech many times, but let me just say, when you talk about, as Councilmember Marr said, my favorite word, persistence. Calvin Coolidge may have said it, but Katrina Foley lives it every day. So thank you very much for your leadership, your friendship. You're like a sister to me, and you did a great job in the election. Congratulations.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, we will close public comment and take the vote by voice vote. Ms. Green?
Councilmember Chavez.
Yes.
Councilmember Guinness.
Yes.
Councilmember Mansour.
Yes.
Councilmember Marr.
Yes.
Councilmember Reynolds.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Stevens.
Yes.
Mayor Foley.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0. And now at this time, a video will be played on the oath of office to the newly elected council members.
Thank you. So at this time, we had, because of COVID, we pre-recorded our swearing in and our oaths of office. So we'll play that at this time.
Please raise your right hand.
I, Katrina Foley.
I, Jeffrey Harlan.
I, Don Harper.
I, Lauren Gameros.
Do solemnly affirm.
Do solemnly affirm.
That I will support and defend.
That I will support and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of California.
And the Constitution for the State of California.
Against all enemies.
Against all enemies.
Foreign and domestic.
Foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance.
To the Constitution of the United States.
To the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of California.
And the Constitution of the State of California.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation.
Without any mental reservation.
Or purpose of evasion.
Or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully.
That I will well and faithfully.
Discharge the duties.
Discharge the duties.
Upon which I am about to enter.
Upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Okay, you guys are amazing. That turned out so great. Thank you. Thank you so much. I had no idea what to expect from that. That turned out fantastic. Thank you. Okay, so now welcome to our new council members. Councilmember Harlan, Councilmember Camaros, and Councilmember Harper. Welcome aboard. And buckle up because it's going to be a rocky ride for the next couple months. At this time, I'd like to invite each of the new council members to say a few words, and we will start with Councilmember Dawn Harper.
Okay, well, thank you. And I want to start by thanking the staff and Lorianne, the city manager, for being so welcoming. And I did think I was the only one, Alan, that got a cookie, but I got a cookie like you. And I'm going to keep it short because I like to eat said cookie. So I'll try and keep my comments short. But I am here on city council really at the encouragement and the request of my friends and neighbors who were looking for someone to represent their concerns and values in District 1. And they largely pushed the voters and their friends and their neighbors to vote for me. And I believe that's why I'm here. I didn't run a very flashy campaign. So, and I know John Stevens, and I like John Stevens, and we've had discussions, and I hope to continue to communicate with him because I represent him as well. And I want to recognize for each of us that ran a race, Lauren and Jeff and I, we didn't get 50% of the vote like you, Mayor Foley. So we got less, but we still represent all those people that didn't vote for us. And even while I'm a District 1 candidate voted in by them, I still represent all of the city of Costa Mesa. And I look forward to working with the other council members of the city and trying to execute on what's important to the residents here in Costa Mesa. I have a strikingly different background than each of the council members here. And I have a lot of respect for each of your disciplines and a lot of respect for your dedication. But I have, like I said, and hopefully together we can really do great things for the city, and that's what I intend to do. I look forward to reaching out to each of you. I haven't done that yet. It's been kind of a time crunch for me, but I will reach out to each of the council members, get to know them better. Unlike you, Lorianne, who served a lifetime in public service, this is really my real first significant entry into it. I've spent 37 years in business. Different process, different approach. I'm going to have an entirely different perspective. And I think that'll be welcomed, and I think it'll be appreciated. And just like I appreciate what all of you have to offer. So I want to thank the people that helped me get elected. I want to thank my wife and my children for supporting me in this, even though I got to be honest, they weren't the first people that said, go do this. Or in fact, they said just the opposite, but in spite of that, they supported. I see three facets to my role here. One is to represent my community. Two is to hold our city accountable in their function of representing and executing on what the city likes. And then I see myself supporting the city and city staff and city manager. And I will end it there, and hopefully we can wrap this up and I can eat my cookie. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you and welcome aboard. Councilmember Camaros.
Thank you. I have to say I'm completely taken aback at all the support that I've received from the city staff. I want to thank Lorianne Harrelson for just really helping me out. Everyone there has been very, very helpful. I also want to thank my family. I got to thank my wife. She really stood up. She held the torch, had my kids, my wife, and everybody, backing me up. My family has been there. I'm very, very appreciative. I just want to let everybody know that I take this position very seriously. And I know that I have a lot of work cut out for me, but I want to let everybody know that the community is why I'm here. I've spent a lot of time thinking about what we can do for the future. I look forward to working with the City Council. I look forward to making this just a great community for everybody. And I want to thank each and every one of you for everything that you've done so far. And I look forward to serving. So thank you. I'll keep my speech extremely short. Thanks.
Thank you and welcome. Okay, Councilmember Harlan.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Like others, I have several thank yous that I want to offer at this time. First of which is to the outgoing council members, Councilmember Mansour and Councilmember Dennis. Both of you were on council, I believe, when I first moved here 15 years ago. And I have no doubt of your dedication and commitment to our city. You've definitely left it better than where you found it. And we're certainly going to miss your institutional knowledge. I also want to extend my appreciation, and it's a little bittersweet for me to even have to say these words to my friend John Stevens, but you know, John and I have been fast friends when we met several years ago. There's so much to like about him. I could talk for an hour plus, but I will not. But when I think of John and what he's done for the city as a public servant, I just have to recognize the leadership, his wisdom, sense of fairness, obviously his good humor, but most importantly, that's all wrapped up in his ability to communicate. And that's one thing I pay attention to when I've watched him on council or on the golf course or just having a drink together. He knows how to not just craft an argument, but how to really listen to people. And that skill that is incredibly valuable. And I hope we can continue that in that spirit as we move forward here. I also do want to recognize my fellow District 6 candidates, Hangame and Lee and Jeff. I want to thank you for putting in the effort and for making the commitment to run. Obviously, your interest in our city has been apparent, and I'm going to encourage you to continue to participate. It takes a fair amount of courage to run for office, so I want to thank you for that as well. And if I do nothing else tonight, I have to say a great thank you to my family, my wife, Melinda, my daughters, Sophie and Evie, and a little shout out to my dog, Oliver, who is a campaign companion here with me. They were maybe like Don, not initially supportive, but they came around and were very helpful during our campaign, just very understanding of what this entailed. And I hope that the work that we put in really does come through, and they'll see that it's important to make that commitment to our community. Also have to recognize the hundreds of supporters, individuals, organizations, and my campaign team who really helped put this all together for the last 6 or 7 months.
Uh-oh. Did we lose him? Oh, no.
Just truly humbled by the volunteers that came out to support our effort.
Oh, no.
This year, it's a great deal of effort, and I just could not be more appreciative. And lastly, I just want to say I'm just humbled by the voters of District 6 who've entrusted me to represent them as their first elected official here on council, and also to serve the city. And I know we have some very tough issues and serious matters ahead of us, but I'm extremely excited to work with my council colleagues and Mayor Foley and city staff. I've had the benefit of working with several of you on my tenure as the planning commissioner, but I'm really looking forward to continuing that. And, you know, I will be, I have to be honest about it. Having a Zoom swearing in like this at first seemed like it was just an odd thing. But I do have to say, after listening to everybody, the gravity of the situation really has come through. And I could not be more proud of the people who have served our community and who are coming on board. Like I said, I think we've got a lot to do, but I'm actually very excited about that. So thank you, and God bless.
All right, thank you, and welcome to you all. And I want to just take a minute. It wasn't on the agenda, but I'm going to take a minute and do some thanks as well. So I want to thank, most importantly, my husband, Casey, who I know is watching right now and who watches every single city council meeting and has watched every single planning commission meeting for all the way through city council for the last, and school board even, 16 years. That's a lot of Tuesday nights, used to be Monday nights. And, you know, we've over the years established some little codes. You know, I might do something with my pearls, and that means something, just to let him know that I'm thinking about him, because we all sacrifice a lot of time away from our loved ones to do this work for the public. So thank you, sweetheart. I love you. I could not do any of this without you, because I just rely on you to the depth of my being. So thank you. And then I also want to thank my boys, because Sam and Ben, because, you know, when you're running in campaigns, despite what Mr. Chapman experienced, I tend to draw all the hit pieces every election. So I take all the hits for everyone else, so no one else has to. And, you know, this election, my children took hits. Last election, my children took hits. And yeah, I agree, we shouldn't have to take hits, and nor should our family members. But, you know, they are incredible young men who have stood by their mom and who have grown and learned how to overcome a lot of experiences and tough experiences in life at an early age. And I think that, as painful as it sometimes is, it's going to serve them well later in life in whatever they do. And I'm really proud of both of them. And, you know, growing up as into young men, making mistakes in front of the whole city and now in front of maybe the whole world, that's hard. So I hope everyone gives them a break. But thank you all for serving and for the sacrifices that your families are going to be making. If nothing else than just having to go run and drop lit at 10 o'clock at night, like I know Lauren's family and kids did. And I know Jeff's girls are in high school. And so that's tough to have your dad on the city council when you're in high school. Trust me, I've been there. And Dawn, you know, your kids are grown, so you don't have to worry about any of that. But really appreciate all of your sacrifice that you all took. I also want to thank my mom, who lives with us, and my 94-year-old grandmother. My 94-year-old grandmother, who has voted in every election, was worried that she wasn't going to get to vote because she was living with us and it was uncertain. She didn't get her ballot at her residence. And so we went down to City Hall, and the team there were so helpful, the registrar of voters. They helped her to get re-registered so that she could vote in the election and vote for her granddaughter and also vote for the president. And so it was really amazing for her to be able to do that. It's really one of the few things that she's gotten out of the house to do because of COVID. So hi, Grandma. I know you're watching. I love you. I've got your pearls on. And I also want to give a shout out, of course, to my mom, who, you know, it's hard to be the mom of somebody who's always taking risks in life and who does it in such a public way. And no mom wants their daughter or son to have to get hurt. I know Lauren's mom was really involved in his campaign. Hi, Tony. Thank you. I know Andrea's mom was really involved in her campaign. Arlis's mom and dad were involved in her campaign. And Manuel's mom was involved in his campaign. And even John's mom was involved in his campaign. So it's great to have moms get involved, but it's also sometimes hard on them because they don't want anyone to suffer. And they certainly want you to win because they don't want you to go through that pain. But thank you, Mom. And thank you to the city staff who have to endure so much. I have appreciated all of you all these years. And I know, and I apologize always, that sometimes you have to do extra work just because people are trying to get at me. So I apologize, and I'm so sorry for that. But in the end, I think we all are doing better for our city. I thank you for the tireless amount of work that you've been doing over the last 8 months. It's just extraordinary. And people who aren't living it really could not understand it. And I know the late nights, the texts at midnight, the reading staff reports in the bathtub, the the really painful discussions with city staff about whether or not they can take holidays and whether or not they're going to be able to come into the office. It's just very, very hard times. And how to enforce, I know that's hard. So we appreciate all of you. And thank you to all the volunteers who really stepped up and for all of the campaigns and really figured out a way to run campaigns in a pandemic. None of us have ever done that before. And I think that the volunteers overall did a really good job of running safe campaigns, keeping people healthy, and being very engaging with the community as best as possible with all the technology tools. So thank you to our community. I'm always going to listen to you. I will fight for Costa Mesa. I fight every day. I was on the phone just today with our Congress people, our state representatives, trying to fight for Costa Mesa so that we can not have to endure more closures during this really difficult month. And so I will keep fighting for Costa Mesa. I love this city. I love serving this city. I love service. And so I appreciate everything everyone has done to help our campaign. And a shout out to Kimberly, my paralegal / scheduler, who has been with me for 12 years and through now 6 campaigns, and has managed to keep, as Kim Barlow would know, that's an impossible task to keep your law firm schedule, your city mayor schedule, and a campaign schedule, and keep everything running smoothly at the office. So thank you. As a 22-year small business owner, I know how important it is to have employees that stay with you, and also how important it is right now for small businesses. So I feel your pain, and I appreciate everyone and what you're going through. And then a shout out also to Avery and Calvin and Susan Seeley, and to making it happen. And Councilmember Marr, thank you for all your morning lit drops. Organizing all the lit drops, you were incredible. We couldn't have done it without you. So thank you. All right, those are my thanks. And it's so, I'm so sad for you guys that you didn't have your family and you didn't have that experience. And we're gonna have to figure out a way to celebrate in sometime in April. All right. Okay, we're gonna now take, we've got 2 more items to conduct of business right now. We're going to take a brief recess, and then officially you will all be council members, and we have a vote to take. if we were in the council chambers, we would have used that moment to replace the names.
Excuse me, Mayor. We are live now.
Okay. So if we were in the council chambers, we would have used that moment to replace the names. Okay, so now after our brief recess, I'm going to call the meeting back to order. And Ms. Green, will you please read the title for the next item of business?
The next item of business is selection of the Mayor Pro Tem. I will now accept nominations for Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay, at this time, I nominate Andrea Marr, Councilmember, to be Mayor Pro Tem.
Second.
Okay, and at this time, we will take public comment on the selection of Mayor Pro Tem. Is there anyone wishing to speak to this item? Please indicate so by raising your hand with the hand raise feature or pressing *9 on your telephone. Okay, seeing no one, close the public comment. And anyone? Go back. Okay, call for the question by voice vote.
Councilmember Chavez?
Yes.
Councilmember Harlan?
Yes.
Councilmember Harper?
Yes.
Councilmember Gameros?
Yes.
Councilmember Reynolds?
Yes.
Councilmember Marr?
Yes.
Mayor Foley?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
All right, congratulations. Now you get to be bothered by me every day. No, I'm just kidding.
Thank you.
All right. All right, that's all we have tonight, everyone. We have no other items of business. We do have a section in our agenda for additional council member comments, committee reports, or updates. And if anybody is just dying to say something else, can you please raise your hand in the hand raise feature and I will call on you. Otherwise, we're going to adjourn the meeting. Okay, seeing no one. Good night, everyone. Looking forward to working with all of you. I think it's going to be an amazing year and we're going to get a lot done for the citizens of Costa Mesa. Good night.